Bruh, if I'm wearing a red shirt and I'm making a YouTube video, it must be bad. I have been watching YouTube for many years before I was a YouTube creator and all the other things, but lately I've been spending a lot of time looking at different communities within YouTube, just enjoying for my own pleasure. Like, like you're doing, you're watching this video just to be entertained or maybe educated. And I'm just really noticing something that I probably wouldn't have noticed as just a regular viewer. I had to become a content creator, YouTuber myself, in order to understand the problems that actually exist on YouTube. Sometimes you see people say that they can't trust YouTubers and that they think they're paid shills and all this other stuff. And the reality is there's actually rules and even laws in place to keep that from being the case without you knowing. They're called disclosures. Like, you have to disclose whether you're being paid or being in any way financed, or even if you've gotten a free product from a company. We're supposed to tell you that if we're going to talk about that company's product, service, or whatever. Like, you literally have to do it. It's in the rules for YouTube. It's in the federal law here in America, the FTC guidelines. They have very clear instructions on what you're supposed to do. And even overseas, Europe has some stuff. There's a whole bunch of places that do this because they're trying to protect consumers from, unfair practices. And there's YouTubers that are doing this, and I just can't tell if they're doing it maliciously or not. And it's no wonder that you can't trust YouTubers most of the time. I totally get it. Before I didn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? And at first, I gotta be honest, I didn't really understand what the big deal was. I mean, if I disclose to you that a product was given to me by a company, obviously I'm going to either review it if they've not paid me specifically. If they just give me the product, I'm going to review it. If they've paid me, then to me, it's a commercial. So I'm not reviewing anything. It's more of a commercial. But I'm very clear about that. Not just because legally I have to, but because it's the right thing to do. So over the last couple of months, I've gotten into RC, radio controlled cars and stuff. I've actually been into it for many years, but I started watching YouTubers, and I don't want to just pick on them because I know it's not just them, but it seems to me that most of the larger creators in the radio controlled car space anyway, are not following these rules. And again, some of these are laws. So if they're not careful, they're gonna get in a lot of trouble. Let me explain to you what I mean. There's something called an embargo. This is typically when a company reaches out to someone like myself and gives me information and perhaps even the product about something before it comes out, before it's released. The only way I could have gotten it is if the company gave it to me. Now that's really important here, because if I go out and buy a product and review it, I don't have to talk about like that I'm sponsored by them. I'm not. I bought the product. But if they sent it to me, I have to let you know that is exactly what happened. That's the transaction that happened. Even if there's no money involved, they sent me the product. And you, as a consumer, if you're watching the video, need to understand that that's what happened. It doesn't mean that anything I say is invalid or that I'm going to give them a pass. As anyone who's watched this channel knows, I don't give anyone a pass. I've broken up relationships with brands because I didn't like the products. And if I really shout out a product, because I really like it. But in this particular case, there's a couple of YouTubers I'm watching, and I'm thinking, these guys are straight up just not telling people. And you might think, well, how do you know? There's a couple of creators, and again, I don't want to call them out by name because I'm unsure if they're just ignorant or if they're being malicious. And if they're ignorant, I hope they eventually see this and know they should change their ways. If they're malicious, then they can go to hell.
Now go home and smoke some more crack.
They will receive a product that is very obviously something you can't buy because it hasn't been released or even announced yet, and release a video on it the same day that the manufacturer does. Not only the same day, but the same minute. That, my friends, is an embargo. You can tell it's anyone who's a YouTuber who's ever gotten products that is embargoed knows exactly what it is. They tell you when you can release videos on it, and the very minute they release their promo trailer, you can release yours. And that's exactly what's happening. So I see this guy who, like, not just one guy, a couple guys in this RC community that do this. They literally will release a video the minute that the company does and not say that they were sent the product. So you watch the product thinking, you watch the video thinking that they bought the product and that they're giving you a very honest and unbiased view. Now, again, if a company sends you a product, you can give an unbiased review. That is not saying that just because you got something, you can't be unbiased. However, I wonder if the reason they're not saying it is because they're afraid that you as the viewer will come down on them and say, well, you got it from them, so of course you're going to give them a good review. Listen, let me just tell you right now. The one YouTuber I know that's doing it almost better than anyone is Michael Fisher, Mr. Mobile. I love the guy. He has a whole spiel he does. It's on his website, everything. Very upfront and clear about how he does his stuff. I think it's amazing. It's gold standard. But I wonder, because these creators are not telling you that they're being given products in exchange for being able to be the first person to give you a review or whatever the case may be. And again, it isn't controversial or it isn't even bad to say I got a product from someone. What is bad is not saying that you got a product from someone. Because here's the thing: if you put a video out and go, hey, this product was sent to me by, in this particular case, Traxxas. This is a lot of Traxxas cars that are out there. They're getting us another RC car. They're being sent to me, and I'm going to review this thing, but I'm not going to tell you that it was sent to me. And then someone finds out, that's sus. It's not sus to say, oh, Traxxas sent me this thing, I'm just going to release a video on it and let you know about it. That's not controversial. What's controversial is for you to not say ne'er a word that this thing was sent to you. And no, clicking the button in YouTube that says this video contains sponsor something is not enough. Literally, the FTC guidelines tell you it's not enough. And even other watchdog groups across the world will tell you that's not enough. You have got to be clear that this thing was sent to you. Now in tech, same thing applies. Generally speaking, I would say our community niche is better about it than a lot of other communities I've seen. The larger creators always disclose it from the most part that I've ever seen, but larger creators and other niches don't. I don't know if it's because they don't know, they're not educated on it, or if they really are being suspicious. So I get it. While a lot of people will say, I can't trust a YouTuber because some of them are paid off. At first I was like, no, that's not happening, but it probably is. And it's absolutely infuriating as someone who does it right to be lumped in with a bunch of people that do it wrong. Listen, I wrote a letter. I went to one of these manufacturers, wrote a letter, said, your influencers are literally not disclosing that you were sending them products. And they did not reply to me. Now, you might think, well, what's the penalty in this? Like, what's the big deal? The FTC will sue your ass into the ground. They will take you to court for tons of cash that you do not have. They are not playing around. Now, by and large, if you're a smaller YouTuber, you probably don't have to worry about this. They're not going to come after you, but it doesn't mean that it can't happen. It 100% can happen. You agree to these things when you sign up for YouTube that you're going to disclose as you are supposed to, depending on where you live in the world. It might be different if you live in Germany versus the US here or whatever, but there's probably a disclosure law somewhere. So if you're a content creator, start doing this right. Like, if you're so worried that people are going to think that you're no longer a valid reviewer because you get free products, first of all, they know you get free products. 100% they're going to think that when they find out that you have been sent products and you never, ever mentioned it. Stop it. You're ruining YouTube as a job. I'm not even talking about just tech YouTube. I know this is a rant. I'm not just talking about tech YouTube. I'm talking about all of YouTube for reviews. You're ruining it for everybody. And if enough big content creators get caught with their pants down doing stupid shenanigans, the whole thing is going to fall in on us. Seriously, the whole thing's going to fall. All you have to do is say, this product was sent to me by such and such. Now you're in with the law. You're good on that point. You're also doing a benefit to the viewer who's watching this, so that at the very least they know it was sent to you. Doesn't mean anything you say is not right, accurate, valid. You're going to be some type of shill. Doesn't mean that. It means you're doing what you're supposed to do when you accept that product. Read up on it. If you are an influencer, read up on it now. And again, this actually bugs me as a viewer because I know this information. Most people who are watching this have no earthly clue. They just watch a video and see a guy with a new phone, a new gadget, a new RC car, a new hair dryer, a new whatever the hell it is, and think that they went out and bought it and are giving their full honest review. Now, again, the review might be honest, but you might think differently about it if you knew that the manufacturer sent it to that influencer. And they are absolutely supposed to do that. Let you know. But as a viewer, I would love to know what you guys and gals think. Is this important to you, or do you even care? I care because I'm a nitpicker about this stuff. I had to go through it. I had to do all the things. So if I got to do it, you got to do it. I'm just kidding. I just want everything to be fair. FTC wants the same thing. Listen, at the end of the day, this is not difficult. It's a very easy thing to fix. If you're watching a YouTuber of yours and you suspect that they're being given products, but they're not disclosing, tell them in the comments. Say, hey, was this sent to you? And if they delete your comment, well, I think you know the answer. Anyway, if I'm ever sponsored by something, y'all gonna know about it. But first, a completely AI generated song about this exact subject. Literally, this was made by AI. It's really insane.
Hey, check it out, I got something to say about these influencers, they be getting paid, promoting products, but they don't disclose, trying to pull the wool over our eyes, I suppose. They flashing fancy cars, rocking designer clothes, but they don't mention all the freebies that they chose. Sneaky moves, trying to make that dough, but we see right through, gotta let them know. Fake news, we ain't playing no games. We see you trying to hide your shady ways. No transparency, it's time to come clean. We want the truth, no products in between.
And here's a sponsored video right here. If you click it, I'm going to probably get money if you do the thing, but I'm going to tell you about it. I'll see you next time. Peace and love.